How y'all doing? And thanks for watching. This is Wicked Warnings coming at you with another build, another fabulous custom job. Keep in mind, we are your #1 source for construction and emergency safety and strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, bicycles, tricycles, SUVs, big old Super Duty, F-450, long bed 4-doors, like what you're looking at right now. This truck happened to be a 2019 Ford F-450 Super Duty. What we have here in the front is our Razor LED. Now that's mounted in the grill with the included bracket that comes with the Razor. I took the grill off and I screwed that bracket down from the back. It's a 90-degree bracket that we use. Now these lights are set up to alternate in a synchronized 2x2 pattern with the color swap. All kinds of patterns. You can do all kinds of things. Make them flash any way you want. Above that, you're going to see our plug-and-play white mirror mod kit running the white mirror lights. Very easy to install that. No wires are cut. Installs in about 10 seconds underneath the dashboard. I'm going to put a link to that plug-and-play right here in the upper right corner of this video right now. Just above that, you'll see our wire-in auto flasher module for the roof. Very similar to what's happening on the mirrors. The only difference is you have to cut a single factory wire in the passenger A-pillar. Very quick install, and that can be wired in to your auxiliary switches to turn on. And that's our auto flasher module on the upper cab clearance lights. Single wire cut, passenger A-pillar. As far as the Razors, those are synchronized again in a 2x2 pattern. They have flood mode capability. As you can see here, we took advantage of that on this build. We also flood mode the mirrors there with that plug-and-play mirror kit. That is very easy to do, and you can see all the details in that mirror video about that. So for the front of this truck, that's what we're looking at. Backing up a little bit and on an angle, you might notice a couple of lights underneath the doors mounted on the step bracket. That's our Thin X Series 2 Lin Amber White Light, also capable of flood mode. We use that very same light in a few locations on this truck, one of them being the side badge that you can't quite see just yet. And as I shut the flood switch off and return to normal warning, you can see the grille, the mirrors, and those step lights return back to warning mode. Now that step light, very similar to the grille light, you can select either color or both colors. Also has the flood mode. That's a very versatile light and very low profile. Alrighty, now here with our side shot, you can get a little better look at that badge. You can also kind of see just a little bit of the front Razor in that grill. Now that Razor has a very nice 180-degree lens in it, and you can see the corner of it illuminating. So even at 90 degrees to the truck, I'm still getting a little useful light off that Razor in the grill, and at night it will certainly be brighter than it is right now with our full LED shop lights going. What you can also notice is that we went with a slightly faster pattern on the badges. I just wanted to give the badges a little bit of a different look than the step. We did synchronize those step lights. That's a triple, I think actually a quad flash alternate color on the Thin X on the steps. We did do them in sync so they stay the same color and they bounce back and forth together. And I wanted the badge to be set off a little differently, so we went with a faster solid color flash. That's a, I want to say a 320, where it goes just the colors alternate in the full light. Razor and Thin X both have many patterns to choose from. Surely you'll find one that you like. You'll notice on the right side of your screen there, underneath the tail light, we have our Lin 8 light. That's a very popular light for that location. A couple of other lights fit there as well. TIR 3, sound off signal, M-Power 3-inch. We like the Lin 8 because it's 2 colors and it also has the flood mode. As you can see, we hit that flood switch again that we showed you earlier. It's also tied into the badge light, both step lights on each side, as well as that Lin 8 light underneath the side tail. So this particular vehicle is going to get a whole bunch of 360 white lighting on demand. All he's got to do is reach up and hit his floodlight switch. As you can see, I also hit the mirror switch to flood the mirrors as well at the same time through our plug-and-play white spotlight mirror kit. Alrighty, flood switch off, and one more view before I take you around the back of the truck and show you what goodies we have back there. You might notice a little light flashing by the toolbox, a little light flashing in the rear window. I'm going to tell you all about that right now. Alrighty, moving around the back. Yes sir, yes sir. Look what we have. 2 more Thin X. I pattern matched those to the badges. So when you get far away on a backward angle, which I can't quite show you right now because this wall's in the way, when we get far away, you'll see the badge and the back of that toolbox in a matching pattern, and you'll see the two steps also matching and synchronized on a different pattern. Breaks it up just a little bit, adds a little bit of conflicting pattern to keep your eye moving. Now above that, that's our 8-head slick stick. It's mounted interior and it's set on dual color, and we're fighting through some 5% window tint right now. We may remove that. As you can see, it still works fine, and in real life it's definitely visible, but I may end up telling this customer to remove the top half tint to get a little brighter output out of that light. As you can see, the Thin-X mounted on the toolbox, no problem with brightness on those. Now, we'll lower the camera down a little bit and show you what we got going around the back, right underneath the tailgate there. Because this is a dually, we left those 3 clearance lights above the license plate in place. They're kind of DOT required with a dual rear tire. So we went with our 15.5-inch Thin-X strip. Now that's a very versatile light stick, just like the Thin-X on the steps. You can select amber flashing, you can select white flashing, you can do a combination of amber and white as we show here, and there's a whole lot of patterns. You can surely find one that you love. The other cool part about this is, as you see, in flood mode, the Thin-X strip is totally capable of producing solid white light output. I'll raise that camera back up so I can show you that the Thin-X on the toolbox also tied into the flood mode, as well as that 8-head stick in the rear window. So, as I said earlier, when he hits the flood switch, he gets the flood. And this is going to be real good. This guy happens to be in the operator's engineer. He gets to drive all kinds of fun stuff, I'm sure, every day for a living. Shout out to any one of my operator engineer fellows out there. Anybody in the 150, drop a comment. Post a picture of what you're running. Very cool. I love you guys out there. I was a carpenter for a long time, so you guys might know this, but in the early part of my life, I was a local one carpenter in downtown Chicago. So fast fact on that. As you can see, a lot of usable light. Little off axis will show you that the left side Lin 8 as well as the right side Lin 8 are illuminated in flood. You can see that spot of white light on the wall there from the right side Lin 8. And I'm going to walk back and shut off the lights. It didn't make a whole heck of a lot of difference, but at least you can kind of see the illumination, the size of the spot you're going to get on the wall from just a Lin 8. Of course, all that flickering is just the camera. It's not flickering in real life. Alrighty guys, so pardon the shaky camera, but I'll take you on a little walk around the truck to try to show you a little bit about the mounting, just so you know what you're looking at here. This is how we mount our Lin 8 right here underneath the side of the tail, right in that plastic. Nice and easy and cheap to replace if you ever wanted. To the right of that, you can see how we mount our Thin-X. I'll go ahead and turn the flash on for you. Look at that. And we use a little bit of RTV silicone to help seal that in addition to the 3M mounting tabs. Run the wiring right down there, so that way you could take this off if you ever wanted to. The little buttons of RTV silicone next to the 3M tabs really make a difference, as well as using the primer promoter. On this particular truck, I also ran a nice clean bead of black RTV along the top of the light to fill in the gap. That way, if he loads any loose material in the bed, it won't get all caught up behind the light and cause issues. And this is what I mean on the top of the light here. You can see we just went with a nice clean bead of black RTV right across the top. That seals any water or anything from falling through the bed, out of the bed, and getting down in there. This, as I said, operating engineer, so he might be hauling dirt, might be hauling gravel, never know. Want to make sure that this truck was sealed up real good for every kind of a circumstance. Now here in the back, we don't have a whole lot of options with this Ford headliner as far as being able to get anything with no damage to the headliner. It's very difficult. However, the roof structure back here, interior structure, comes out and up, and right here we've pop riveted in about 5 spots this aluminum plate. It's basically a 1/8 inch, 2-inch plate, and we cut 2 pieces, pop riveted it, sliced the headliner, put the headliner back so the plate will come through, and that's how we mounted the stick right back here, just like that. I think I want to get some plastic caps maybe for these nuts. Maybe I'm gonna have to look into that. But we did try to keep the brackets inboard of the headrest on purpose, so that way your head would never whack into a bracket or a nut by accident, hopefully. But that's how we mounted the stick in the back window, if you were curious about any of that. Do I need to tell you all how I mount a light to a toolbox? Drill hole, screw it in. Actually, what I did want to mention, the M6 stainless threaded fasteners. We like to use those on these lights because that way you could thread out the fastener if you need to. So if you want to order some stainless M6, I believe that's the size I'm using right there, or 8/32, and then get yourself a tap. A lot of times, like this aluminum was thick enough, it took a nice thread tap easily, and that light threaded in with a stainless fastener, very nice, instead of trying to use, force the plastic screw that it comes with into aluminum. Get a threaded fastener. And that would mimic and be equally as important here on the steps. We drilled and tapped those holes right there. And just for the heck of it, I'll go ahead and take you underneath if you guys want to see some of it. This is what we did. We put a drip line on this one. It brings it out and down. And then we carried it back up the bracket and went along here and all the way along to the front. Important to note why we did this drip line and why we didn't just take this wire straight up. If we took this wire and went straight up, maybe over here and up with it, water will wick down the wire and literally flow right into the back area here. Now this is waterproof, but you don't want to encourage water to flow directly into the back of the light. So by coming out and down and then going back up like this, not only do you leave yourself a little bit of wire to work with, okay, if you ever had to change the light, you could always kind of work with that extra wire, but you eliminate the water wicking down the wire and going right into the back of the light constantly. Now you're just left with the water that naturally splashes up here. And if you want, it's a good idea to take a bunch of RTV and seal this all in after. You could do that too. If you like, totally your choice. There's a foam gasket underneath the light already. And there's just some labels for the auxiliary switches. Front is the front of the truck, of course. Flashing is the rest of the truck. Bar is the stick in the back window. Flood is that massive flood that we saw. And one more switch is the pattern. That's going to be for the back window stick, so he can adjust the pattern on that back window stick. Curious about the badges? Curious how we mount that in there? Click the upper right hand corner of the video right now for a link to the DIY video that explains exactly how we do this. I even show you. It's a good video. Check it out. Alrighty, and then as far as I was saying, here you can kind of see how we mounted this. Sorry, I know it's blurry and I know I'm probably making y'all seasick. Okay, so there we go. 90-degree brackets. Oh, up there, you can just see it. Oh, can you see it? Can you see the light? Can you see the light? See the bracket right there? Screwed in from the back with the grill off. And I'm not gonna lie, on the top here, I might have enlarged one of the holes underneath this cover so my apex would get in there, but you can't see it, so I'm not gonna tell anybody about that. And if you put a light in exactly this location, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now down here, we're doing the same thing. Oh, where's the lower light? Way down here. There we go. We're doing the same thing. You ever try to look through a camera and look on the background? It's kind of a pain sometimes. You get lost almost. So same thing down here. You can see the bracket right there. Oh yeah, you can see the little screw. Alrighty, so that's what we're doing here. And this is exactly where we mounted it here. We ran all the wiring. I did the drip line. I ran the wiring up. I tucked all of my wiring all behind in here. And of course, I ran it over here. And I put a weather pack on it. So I even marked it grill. So you can unplug it. Here you go. It's flashing, flood, and ground. 3-pole weather pack. That way, if you ever have to take the whole grill off the truck, which I don't know, once in a while it happens, especially with aftermarket LED headlights, you might have to change one once in a while. By the way, put the battery charger on it. Customer's going to be here later. Wanted to make sure I had full and fresh batteries, and I'll admit it, I've been playing around with this truck too much. So I was running the batteries down a little bit, so we're charging them right back up. That's all that is. And, by the way, I like this battery charger. I don't know, you ever check these out? They work pretty darn good. I dig it. Seems like it does good for the shop. Schumacher. They make a smaller version too. They're not paying me or nothing like that. I just like their chargers. So, any questions, drop a comment. Hopefully I went over everything you need to know. If I missed something, drop a comment. I'll answer it in the comments. I'll do my best. And I thank you for watching Wicked Warnings. Hope you enjoyed this build. Hope to see some F-450 builds coming from you guys. And as I said, if you're an operator, drop a comment. Let us know where you're from. All you operators, and start chatting in the comments. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.